Welcome back, everybody. It is March of 2015, and this is your monthly video newsletter. First off in March, we have our next community dinner. Now, this is something that you've all seen before, but some of you have not yet been to a community dinner, and I really want you to take advantage of this opportunity. This is going to be on March 9th at 7 p.m. And what we do is take some of our great patients and their family and friends and guests, take them out to dinner, and we talk a little bit about some of the great health information that you guys are familiar with and give them a chance to be exposed to that and to be exposed to our clinic and what we do and help them to have the opportunity to save their life, to save their family's life, to make a difference in our community. So that's the first thing coming up. The next thing that I'm particularly excited about, because this is something that's affected my life and my family's life tremendously, is Saturday, March 28th at 12 p.m. That's noon. We're going to talk about heart disease. So this is called Heart Talk. And heart disease has destroyed a great portion of my family, and it's something that we really need to talk about because heart disease is running rampant in America. There's more people dying from heart disease right now than there ever has been in the history of the world, and we've got to do something about it. So on March 28th, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how heart disease happens, what things like artery plaquing and cholesterol and all the aspects of fighting heart disease by knowing how you got it in the first place, and what does it take to keep it from ever coming back. So that's what we're going to talk about on the 28th. I don't want any of you to miss this excellent workshop. Next thing is something that you should all know about, but some of you still are not taking advantage of this, and I really want you to be here on our Saturday workouts. On Saturdays at 10 a.m., every single Saturday, we have an awesome workout session where we do Max T3, just like what you've seen in the Max T3 videos, the hot seat videos that you see playing in the clinic. We have a chance for you to learn the tools that you can take home and build an exercise program for yourself. Whether you go to the gym, whether you do this at home or anywhere else, you can take this with you even when you go on trips and do them in your hotel room. But those Saturday workouts are designed to teach you the tools that you can use to do that very thing. And we have a lot of fun doing it. So every single Saturday at 10 a.m., join us for our Saturday Max T3 workouts. I wanted to call your attention to one of the things that we have in our clinic. You can see on the wall behind me these silver stars. And these are some of our great testimonies from patients who have seen amazing transformations and even miracles in their life. You can see several different conditions, things like insomnia and lower back pain and asthma and even diabetes, which is directly behind my head right here. And I want you to hear from one of our great patients who has seen one of these great transformations in his life.
Hi, I'm Keith. I've been coming to Dr. Jason since April of 2013. I originally sought out chiropractic because I was having daily headaches, back pain, upper and lower back pain. Since I started chiropractic, I've seen the pain has mostly gone away. It's very rare that I have any pain. It's not nearly as severe. When it is, it doesn't last as long. In the course of this, 10 months ago, I was diagnosed with diabetes. I started out taking a lot of insulin. Dr. Jason showed me the advanced plan for Maximized Living, started doing that. Have gotten to a point, I have in my hands 6 insulin pens that expired. If you know anything about these, they're good for 28 days. These have all expired because I've reduced the insulin. They've actually taken me off the fast-acting insulin now, put me towards medication and towards other things. It's been wonderful to go from 4 shots a day to 1, and it's been a great experience, and I'm just so glad that I found them.
One of the questions that I get really frequently from my patients is, what is BMI? That's something that we're going to be talking about in our Heart Talk seminar this month, and it's something that you really should be aware of. Most people, when they are looking at their bodies and where they are in their health and fitness journey, is how much they weigh. They're using one of these right here to see exactly how much their body weight is. But I want to tell you, and I will reiterate this when we're talking about it later, is that that's not the best measure of how healthy you are. A much more accurate and much more effective way to measure your overall health and fitness is your body mass index, which really is just a simple calculation of your body fat percentage. So knowing what percentage of your body composition is fat is a really powerful tool. So the basic way to do that is with a body mass index calculator, and you can just Google that. Just go to Google and type in BMI calculator, and there's about 1,000 of them that you can pull up and do it for free. It doesn't cost you anything. You just put in your height and weight, and whether you're male or female, and it will give you a basic calculation there. It's not 100% accurate, but it's a good place to start. Another way that we can do that is with one of these types of tools. This is a very simple one. It uses a minor electric current to measure your body fat percentage. There's much more complicated and expensive ways to do it than this right here, but this is another basic way to do it. Probably the most accurate way is with these things that nobody ever wants to see, because we use the calipers here to pinch certain areas of body fat that nobody wants to call attention to. But that's a much more accurate way of calculating your body fat percentage, or your BMI. So the reason that that's important is that having a high BMI is an extremely high risk factor for things like cancer, heart disease, which we're talking about this month, and diabetes and other chronic ailments. So the number that you never want to get to, most definitely, is in the 30s. If you have a BMI that is above 30, then you are exponentially more likely to have heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and all the complications thereof. So your benchmark is around 25. You want to stay underneath 25. So anywhere from 18.5 to 25 is optimal BMI for you, and that's the number that you always want to shoot for. If you have not had your body mass index checked, you can certainly do one of those calculators online and let me know what your numbers are, or we can check it with one of these methods here at our clinic, and then we can set some goals for you. If you don't have any goals when it comes to BMI, then you really need to set those goals for yourself, because you don't want your risk factors to be exponentially higher because your BMI is in the 30s. So if you have any other questions about these, you can always ask me when you're in the clinic, and we'll see you soon. So I want to talk to you about what to do when you get sick. This health tip for this month is really to change your mindset just a little bit, because the first thing you need to do is get rid of that thinking. When you say, I got sick, you're really saying exactly the wrong thing. When your body expresses symptoms like a sore throat, or a fever, or congestion, runny nose, all of those things that come along with getting sick, those are actually your body's natural mechanisms to fight off diseases, to fight off things like viruses and bacteria. You want your body to do those things. So when you start expressing symptoms like that, let's just call it that. I'm expressing symptoms, or I'm expressing health, because a healthy body does those very things in order to protect itself. So, but what happens when you start developing symptoms like that? Well, first of all, see it as a good thing, because you know that your body is healthy enough to fight off something. If you were to get a virus or a bacteria and none of those things were happening, and you didn't even know about it, it could potentially cause you great, great harm, and you wouldn't even know it. So, first thing, when you get a fever, remember that a fever is not a bad thing. So, for instance, what do you do when you have a fever? What do you do when your child has a fever? Because that's when we tend to get concerned, is when our kids get a fever. Well, remember that that's your body's normal, natural protective mechanism. A virus or a bacteria does not need to be there, and your body knows it. So it will raise your core temperature in order to basically burn off the virus and the bacteria. The killing of bacteria and viruses doesn't actually happen until you get to a pretty high temperature. So if you see a temperature at 102, even 103, or maybe even a touch higher, that means your body is actually getting to the point where it's killing the viruses and bacteria. It's not a dangerous thing. So what do we usually do? Our child feels a little bit warm in the chest or the forehead, so the first thing we do is go where? We go to the medicine cabinet and we pick out the thermometer. We stick that thermometer in their mouth or in their armpit, and we see that the temperature is higher, and immediately we think that that's a crisis. What we should be thinking is, thank God their body knows how to fight off whatever is attacking them right now. So I would urge you, if your child feels a little bit warm, if you feel a little bit warm, don't go straight to the medicine cabinet, because the first thing that does is stress you out because there's a fever and immediately you're worried, when you should absolutely be the opposite of worried. You should be very happy. So that's the first thing. Don't be so quick to go to the medicine cabinet and grab that thermometer. Leave it in there, let the fever burn. If it continues to get a lot worse, maybe you should be cautious, but that's the body doing its job. So what do you do instead of worrying about the temperature, maybe going to the doctor or taking a Tylenol to reduce the fever? Allow the fever to burn. Allow the fever to burn and let the body do its job in killing the virus or the bacteria. So how do you help your body to do that? When you have anything like a fever or runny nose or congestion, any of those things, again, those are all normal, but you want to support your body's immune system functions. What's the first thing you should always do when you get sick, no matter what it is? Flu, cold, allergies, stomach bug, virus or bacteria. What is the very first thing you should do? Get adjusted. If you're a patient of mine, you should already know that your immune system is controlled by your nervous system. And if your immune system is being impeded by pressuring your nervous system, then your body is not going to fight off those viruses or bacteria or whatever it is the way that it should. So the first thing you should think of is, I need to go get adjusted. Because the studies and research show very conclusively that the immune system functions at a much higher level immediately following an adjustment, especially to the upper cervical spine right here. So that's the first thing you should do. If your child gets sick, if you get sick, don't worry about germs. Come to our clinic, get adjusted, we'll get you right in and right out, and then you can get back home and get some rest. That's the very first thing that you should think of. The second thing is that you need to stay hydrated. These things tend to cause sweat, like frequent urination, sometimes diarrhea. Those things dehydrate you very frequently, so you want to have plenty of good, clean, filtered water when you start to feel symptoms coming on. You want to boost your body's immune system function also by taking a little bit of extra vitamin C, and especially vitamin D. Remember that activates your immune system, so extra vitamin D, your B vitamins, and plenty of water to go along with that. Make sure that when you start exhibiting symptoms like that, that you don't overtax your body's different systems. So don't maybe reduce the amount of food that you're eating too. You want to feed your body good nutrition, but maybe don't eat quite as much. Give your body more time to fight off the pathogen that's attacking it, and a little bit less time digesting food. So that's the basic principle that I want you to remember when you get sick, or when you start exhibiting symptoms or expressing health, as I like to say. But there's one thing that I do want to talk about in particular, and that is ear infections. These things get scary because you've been taught that it's a scary thing. Well, what I want you to remember is that your child and yourself and anybody always has bacteria, probably even viruses, in the ear, because the ears are designed to prevent that stuff from getting into your body. Okay, so there's always going to be those things floating around in your ear at any given time. If you took a swab of the internal environment in your ear, you're going to find those things. So if there is a virus or a bacteria that gets into your body through another way, another pathway through perhaps your throat or through your nose, and then you start to see inflammation, you start to see the fever, you start to see maybe the child starts tugging on their ears, that's because the overall inflammation caused the ears to be sore. So then perhaps the child starts tugging on your ears, and immediately you're scared because there's an ear infection. Well, it really wasn't the ear infection at all. It was something that happened in a totally different part of the body, but it caused overall inflammation. So then what happens, you go to the doctor, and they take a culture of the internal environment of the ear, and they find that bacteria that was already there, and immediately we have ear infection. So the first thing that is always done is what? That's right, antibiotics. Remember that antibiotics are very good at killing bacteria, but they do not discriminate about what bacteria that they kill. They kill all the bacteria in your body. So yeah, they might have killed the little bacteria that was in your ear, but they also destroyed all the beneficial bacteria that are in your digestive system. Now remember that 80% of your immune system is in your digestive system. So destroying all of that bacteria there that helps in your natural immunity is a horrible thing to do. And that's why statistically a child is 7 times more likely to have recurrent ear infections if they take antibiotics. And the American Medical Association has known this for a very, very long time. It's actually published many years ago in the Journal of the American Medical Association that they should never be given. But that's just standard practice when you go to a medical doctor and bacteria or virus is found in the ears. So I want you to remember that. It may not even necessarily be an ear infection, but if it is, you want to use natural remedies to help your child get over that ear infection. Allow the fever to burn. Yeah, they might tug on their ears. They may even be a little bit miserable for a week. But the body knows how to fight this thing off. The first thing you should do is get your child adjusted, right? The second thing is make sure your child stays hydrated and allow that fever to do its job. As long as that fever is not getting above 104, 104 and a half, you really don't have anything to worry about. You just need to watch your child's miraculous body do its own healing. I wanted you to remember that. That's one of those things that parents really tend to get afraid about, and it's something that you don't need to be afraid of. Your body's natural immunity knows what to do. Okay, so final word for this month of March newsletter. Right now is the time of year when we're finalizing our speaking and engagement calendar for the whole rest of the year. So I don't want you to miss out on a chance to have us come and do an event at your place of business or your church or any other groups that you might be associated with. So on your next visit, this is what I want you to do. I want you to write down the names of the contact persons, whether they be an HR person at your place of business, one of the administrators or pastors at your church, whoever that might be at any of these groups. Bring those in with you so that I can get in contact with those people, so we can set up a time where I can come and speak at your church or place of business, etc. This is how we're going to reach the most people in the year 2015 and make San Antonio the healthiest place that it can be. I don't want you guys to miss out on the chance to have those spots filled before they get filled up for the whole rest of the year. So don't forget, next time you come into the clinic for your next adjustment, have those names ready, your church, your place of work, any other groups that you're associated with, so we can make those contacts and fill up our schedule and help as many people as we possibly can in 2015. I look forward to seeing you guys the next time you're in the clinic. God bless you.